Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. I hope everybody's well. Thank you so much for all your good wishes for my recovery. I'm getting there. I'll be back firing on all cylinders next week. And this is going to be just another short video just for an introduction to the season. So guys, when I first saw this couple and they were packing a suitcase, I thought, wow, they've done it. They're over and out. Brandon and Julia are fleeing the nest. Now ordinarily, I'd be all for it. But what would Brandon and Julia's segments be like without Betty and Ron? Yes, that's right. Kind of like a Tarek without a Dean. Bechamel sauce. So yes, you guessed it, Brandon and Julia. 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After Season 6, Episode 1. Very quickly, if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel, press that big red button, make Ebird a very happy Ebird, and also don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoy this review. So without further ado, I give you Brandon and Julia. And we begin this segment and we're seeing Julia and Brandon pack. Julia asks, shall I pack everything? I think I want to. That's right, I want to pack everything. And Brandon explains, we will be back. We're not moving to Las Vegas. And Julia tells us she's seen Las Vegas on TV before. Julia, so has the Ebird. It was Colt and Debbie's house. Hopefully you won't be staying there. No girl is safe from Colt. And then we trot for a few moments back down memory lane. And Brandon talks about how he and Julia met. Now I thought that he saw Julia in Russia and his friend was in Russia. But it turns out Julia was living and working in South Korea. And Brandon's friend went to South Korea, met her in a bar, and that's how they got in contact. Unsurprisingly, this throws up quite a few questions for the Ebird. Quite a few questions indeed. It's safe to say I'd certainly like to know more, much more. And then Julia explains how she hated staying in separate rooms when she got to America. She said staying in separate rooms pushed me towards explosion. Being in the same room pushed Brandon towards explosion. Guys, make sure you're wearing your wellies. So Brandon tells us since they've got married, he's got a new job. He'll be working less hours and making more money. And so they're celebrating by going to Las Vegas. And we go over to Betty and Ron. And they think the whole Las Vegas thing was Julia's idea. No doubt. Julia needs to get away from the farm at some point. And to production, Ron laments, I can't understand it. Brandon just does everything that Julia wants. And then Betty said, yeah, he's really under the thumb. And Ron said, he's whooped. And I'm kind of guessing they mean pussy whipped. Maybe he is, but she has had quite a tough 6 months of it. Let's face fact. I don't think Betty and Ron were anybody's American dream. So they fly to Las Vegas, and when they arrive, Julia comes over all Natalie, and they walk around the hotel, and she starts hugging palm trees. She said, I love Las Vegas, I love it, I love it, I want to live here. Julia, my love, with what money? On whose dime? As far as I can see, you still don't have a job, and no, I don't count feeding the pigs. And before they even got to their hotel room, Julia's excitedly exclaiming that she loves Las Vegas. They go to their room, they get changed, they go back out for their first evening, and as they sit at the bar having a couple of drinks, and guys, let me tell you, it looks like a very nondescript touristy bar in the middle of some sort of shopping mall, but nevertheless they sit and have a drink, and Julia, who's wearing some sort of aviator spectacles, takes them off and looks at Brandon earnestly, and she said, Brandon, I won't live here, I won't be here forever. And she said, this is my kind of place. And guys, I did wonder how long it would take, but I didn't think she'd do it within the first 20 seconds of having a drink. You haven't seen anything, you haven't been anywhere. Quite frankly, this girl's unbelievable. Julia, how do you know you want to live there? You've been there 15 minutes, tops. And guys, this is what bugs me about Julia. As much as she tries to pretend she's very adult, and you know at the tell-all she tried to vie for pole position with Yara, nothing that Julia says or does is ever thought through. Julia, you have no money. You have no job. Think about it, Julia. If you really wanted to make a case to Brandon about living in Las Vegas, don't you think that you'd go around to a few clubs, tell them you're a go-go dancer, maybe get a couple of auditions or a couple of interviews, secure yourself a job and some money, and then say, right, I want to move to Las Vegas. You don't have one drink in one poxy bar and decide this is where I want to live. Out of the whole of America, this is it. This is the place. How do you know? You haven't been anywhere else except for Dunwoody, whatever it's called. And she said, Brandon, I won't live here. And then Brandon said, what would you say if I told you that tomorrow I've lined us up a viewing at a house just down the street? Brandon, you're an evil little so-and-so, you really honestly are. Well, Julia fell for it, hook, line and sinker. Oh dear. She said, "Are you kidding me?" But there was the clear look of expectancy in her eyes. I saw it, yes I did. And he looked at her a little while longer and then said, "Yes, of course I'm kidding you. Come on, Julia, this isn't real life. Chicken shit and pig swill's our life, Julia. And that's all you'll ever have if you're going to stay with me." And Brandon said, "This isn't real life, this is casino land." And she said, "Yes, this is exactly what I want. And it's exactly what you want. Why don't you think about our dreams?" And when she says our dreams, she means, "Brandon, why don't you think about my dreams?" Brandon could have argued the cost of real estate in Las Vegas is so high that they couldn't afford it. Brandon could argue it's not a suitable place to bring up a family. Brandon could have argued it's full of confidence tricksters and thieves. Brandon could have argued Colt and Debbie live here. But oh no. But instead, what was Brandon's argument? What was his reason for not moving to Las Vegas? Because he doesn't have a pest control license for Nevada. Are you kidding me, Brandon? And I googled pest control Nevada, as you do. And I discovered that the maximum it's going to cost him to get a new license, and this covers a business and every license, is $250. So Brandon, it's no big deal. He has to do a little training course and pay a few fees here and there. But Julia, if you had anything about you, you would have googled that right in front of his face. I know I would have done. And Brandon said, "It's not going to happen right now, we can't move." And he tells production, "I did know that Julia wanted to live in a big city, and I hoped that she would be patient with me." And then inexplicably, Julia said to Brandon, "You said to me when we're married that we'd move. Well, we're married now, and I want to move." Oh, Julia, did he ever say he's going to move you to Las Vegas? I don't think he did. He said we'll move out, which incidentally, you had the option to do before you got married, but you didn't like the standard of what he could afford. But nobody mentioned Las Vegas. And then she starts bollocking on about the farm again, and she said, "I try to be nice." Do you? And then she said, "And your mum tries to be nice, but I just can't get along with her." And she said, "I hate it. It's your mother's house, and I don't control anything in this house." Julia, of course you bloody don't, because you don't own the house. You don't pay for the house. Guys, Julia just thinks she's brand new. She thinks that she's born one day, and next day she's going to roll into Betty's house and tell Betty what the F to do. Julia, the only way to be in control of your own home is to have your own home. And then she said, "Brandon, you promised me, so you can keep your promise now." And Brandon said, "Fine, I'll quit my job. We'll move down the road. In fact, let's move into a cardboard box." Guys, I actually heard, and I don't know if this is true or it's just something I kind of dreamt up. Maybe I saw it on a movie, but there's somewhere in Las Vegas that people live kind of under the street in like either disused subway lines or in drains, like gigantic drains. People live underneath the city in Las Vegas. That's what I heard. Maybe Brandon and Julia could live there. It's a possibility. And Julia keeps on saying, "You promised, you promised. You said that we'd move after we got married." Oh, Julia, you need to make your contracts a little bit more watertight if you don't want to get turned over in America. After you get married is any time from the moment you get married until the end of your life, and in fact, beyond. After you're married could literally mean any time. It's very open-ended. You should have pinned that wriggly little worm Brandon down a little more securely than you did. But Julia has what she thinks is a trick card up her sleeve, and she says, "As soon as I have my working document, my green card, if Brandon doesn't want to move, I move alone." And that's where we leave things this week. So what does the Ebird make from all of this? Well, I'd like to say that this "I move alone" was pretty much like "I go Russia." Just another one of her silly little threats that's never going to happen. But you never know. It's very strange. There's been quite a few occasions in which Julia's actually said, "I'm here for my green card. Oh, joke." Or, "If we marry and I don't get on with you, then I divorce." So if I were Brandon, I wouldn't necessarily take for granted that she's not going to just up and leave. But what I can't get my head around is this. If she does decide, I can up and leave, I can go, don't you think that Brandon's going to put in for a divorce and you just might be sent back to Russia? I mean, I know Mohammed from Mohammed and Danielle's still here. I know Larissa is still here. And I also know that Louis that went out with that southern woman, I can't remember her name, he's still here as well. So maybe it is a trick. Maybe if you just get in and get married, maybe that's sufficient to stay in the US. Somehow, I don't think so though, otherwise it would be the easiest trick in the book. I think I'm going to do a bit of research just to see. So guys, let me know what you think. Do you think Julia's likely to just up and leave? Or is she just gassing as she normally does? I think the best thing that Brandon could do now is to have her move into the city in Pennsylvania. Is it Petersburg? And that way she'd be around a few more restaurants and bars and cool places, and she wouldn't be bollocking on about Las Vegas. I think that would be the best idea. Guys, let me know what you think. Do you think there's any chance that she would up and leave Brandon? And do you think it's about time now that they got out of Betty and Ron's farm? I kind of do. But I think, Julia, first, you need to get a job so you can help with the bills. You know Brandon doesn't earn an awful lot of money, and if you want a beautiful apartment, as you seem to, somehow it's got to be paid for. So guys, let me know what you think in comments down below, and I'll be back soon with another video. If you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to my channel and please support the cause. And also, don't forget to smash the like button, and you can follow me on Twitter at Ebird Online. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online, and I bid you good day.